Hi everyone, I am here with Maya Goldberg, who is the founder and designer of the fashion label 137, and she is going to tell us a little bit about how being a member of the startup fashion community has helped her with her business. So Maya, can you tell us a bit about yourself and your brand?
Hi, I'm Maya, and my brand is called 137, as you said, and I make button-down shirts for women that solve the problem of the shirt gape, which many women I'm sure can relate to. So it's a modern shirt that's casual and dressy at the same time, and it's really all about having that like fashion and function aspects both covered. Solving that problem was really important to me, but it was also really important to me to design something that I can stand behind and that I think just looks really cool.
Awesome. Can you tell me a bit about why you decided to join Startup Fashion?
I can. I think the main thing that I was looking for when I started and when I joined was the community. There's a lot that you offer and I get something out of that, but I think I was in a place where I really didn't know what I was doing and I wasn't sure how to go about things. And I really felt like I needed an outlet and people that I could talk to that weren't friends and family and that weren't industry people who I felt I needed to do business with or that were judging me or that I was paying or that wanted me to, and so that community and having people who were going through the same thing as me and were going through similar stages and maybe had been through some of what I am about to go through was really something that I needed. Somebody that you could, a place to bounce ideas off of or ask questions and just say, oh, so, I need to do this and I'm not sure what to do, so really like that basic need
Yeah,
is
awesome.
what got me most interested.
Did you have any kind of like worry or hesitation with making the investment?
Um, at first, it wasn't really a worry, but I definitely hesitated at first. It was, it comes down to a few things, and some of what we actually even talk about in the group sometimes is, making the investment, making the commitment. And I think when I first found out about the group, I don't even know if it was a while ago. And, I don't even know how much, if there was membership yet, I don't remember, but I definitely hesitated and I had a problem committing. And I was just not in a place yet in the business that I felt that I was ready to make that investment and to really make that commitment. So yeah, there definitely was a hesitation. But once I did like decide that I was ready, I still hesitated. And I think I missed one of your cutoff points. And I think when I missed that cutoff point and I was upset about it, I realized that hesitating was a waste of time. And that's when I really knew. I was like, you know what? You want to do this. You want to join. Don't hesitate. Just do it.
Yeah.
Because why not? So
Awesome. Yeah, I
yeah,
like that what you said about when you felt bummed out that you missed it, that was an indication. Like, okay, this is something I want. It's kind of like that thing where when you're shopping or you see something and
exactly.
you decide not to buy it and then you go home and you're like, I really want
I
it
know. I
now.
always say if you're dreaming about it and keep thinking about it, then maybe you should get it.
Yeah. Awesome. Can you tell me a bit about where you were in your business before you joined and then where you are now?
Absolutely. So when I joined, I believe I was in the product development stage. I had done a lot of work on kind of the business and concept and branding side. And, I had people helping me out with that, but it was really when I was doing sampling and product development where I didn't feel like I had that place to kind of ask the questions and, how do I go about, because I don't have a formal fashion education, or a formal business education, and I think a lot of people in the community are like me that we just kind of, had this idea and decided to go for it. So, having like the tools, or not having the tools, I was at that place where I needed them. So I was at that development stage and, figuring out fabrics, figuring out quantities, figuring out all those details. And since then, I've, you know, produced my first batch, which was my preview collection. I launched my site. I, basically went into business, and that's where I am now, a few months in, and,
Yeah, it's been amazing to watch.
working
I'm
on it.
really excited to talk to you today because it's been so incredible to watch your business transform so beautifully. I mean, you really
Thanks.
developed a brand and a voice and like an amazing product. And yeah, congratulations. It's been
Thank you
awesome.
so much. Yeah.
So you once had sent me an email and you mentioned how being a part of Startup Fashion, it was like no other group that you'd ever been a part of. And I was wondering if you might elaborate on that and share what you meant by that.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not one to join a lot of groups, but I definitely have, looked into different groups. And as I said, nothing ever stuck. And then on Facebook, I've joined a lot of random different groups, from entrepreneur groups to fashion groups, all these different groups that are intended, for the community part. And I just, I don't know if it's overcrowding combined with it doesn't feel personal, maybe, and these long threads and not feeling like there's a connection really. And I feel like in startup, if I put a question out there, almost always people will respond. And it's mostly the same core group of people who are active, but you will randomly get like the person, people read it because they respond and you'll have that person who will give you a legitimate answer. Oh, I'm about to do this and this. How much should this even cost? Or, what should I expect? Or, this vendor did this or this person did that and said this and, or I'm debating in my head about something. And sometimes it's like, stop debating in your head and talk to somebody about it. So I feel like there's really, the community is there. It's not just on paper. It's, people respond and they're active and you're there. And I think that, I have to say you are a huge part of the community. And anytime somebody asks a question, you like do that thing where you're like, here's this thread from like months ago where we talk about that specific subject. And I'm always like, wow, that's so amazing how you go and find it and link it and connect it. And I think that, your ability to be part of the group and to be so active and keep everybody connected and do your, in-person meetups and all that stuff is really part of what, keeps the group alive. So yeah, props to you because you're a big part of what makes the group great.
Thank you so much. Thank you. That's really sweet to hear. And I guess just wrapping up, I was wondering if there was anything that surprised you once you became a member, anything that you thought was like a really cool benefit you weren't anticipating, anything like that you might want to share.
I don't know if there were surprises because I don't think I had too many even expectations, but I just have really enjoyed, I've met some interesting people, I guess being in New York and a lot of other members are in New York, you're in New York. So it's nice to know that it's also, for me at least, not just on the internet, that it is something that we can translate into real life. When I had my launch party, you came, which was so nice, and a few other members from the group came as well. And, I've connected with some really great people through the group, some who aren't in New York as well, and have shared resources with me. And, the best thing about the group is that people are not secretive with their information, and everybody's open and willing to share. And I think that's hard to come by. So.
I agree. I find that just in, business ownership in general, it's hard to find groups that are give and take. People give a lot, they take, but they give. And that's such a beautiful dynamic. And I feel like that's how we as business owners can thrive and grow and accomplish. So it's really nice to hear you say that. Yeah, awesome. So thank you for sharing all of this. I really appreciate it. It was great chatting with you.
For starting Startup Fashion.
Absolutely. Okay. Bye.
Bye.